4 years, rugby supporters have debated one question that never seems to disappear: should the professional game finally embrace a truly global season? Every few months, the discussion returns with fresh urgency, and this time it has resurfaced at a fascinating moment in international rugby. As preparations continue for another chapter of one of the sport's greatest rivalries, attention has shifted beyond team selections and match tactics toward the future structure of the game itself. At the center of that conversation stands Rassie Erasmus, a coach known not only for his tactical innovation but also for his willingness to speak openly about issues affecting rugby beyond the 80 minutes on the field. His support for a synchronized international calendar has once again sparked debate among players, coaches, administrators, and fans around the world. For many supporters, the phrase global season might sound like another administrative discussion that belongs in boardrooms rather than stadiums. Yet behind those words lies an issue that could shape the future of professional rugby for decades. Every year, elite players travel across continents, balancing demanding club commitments with intense international schedules. They move from one competition to another with little opportunity to recover both physically and mentally. While fans enjoy seeing the world's best athletes compete more often, the hidden cost is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Injuries continue to rise, recovery periods become shorter, and the physical demands of modern rugby grow heavier with every season. That is why Rassie Erasmus believes the conversation can no longer be postponed. Throughout his coaching career, he has emphasized preparation, planning, and long-term thinking. Those same principles now influence his views on rugby's calendar. Rather than focusing only on immediate competitive advantages, he argues that the sport must protect its greatest asset, the players themselves. According to his perspective, creating harmony between domestic and international competitions is not simply about making travel easier or organizing fixtures more efficiently. It is about ensuring that rugby remains sustainable for future generations. The current rugby calendar presents unique challenges. Clubs expect players to perform week after week in demanding domestic leagues, while national teams require those same athletes to reach peak condition during major international tournaments. For countries whose leading players are scattered across Europe, Japan, and the Southern Hemisphere, assembling a squad often becomes a logistical puzzle. Training camps are shorter than coaches would prefer, travel schedules are exhausting, and preparation time is constantly limited by conflicting club responsibilities. For the Springboks, these challenges are familiar. South African rugby has evolved dramatically over the past decade, with many of its leading stars building successful professional careers overseas. Although this global presence has strengthened the experience of the national squad, it also creates scheduling complications. Players finish one competition only to prepare immediately for another, often crossing multiple time zones while adapting to different coaching systems and playing styles. Maintaining peak physical condition throughout such a demanding schedule requires extraordinary discipline. This reality explains why leaders within South African rugby have consistently supported discussions surrounding a harmonized global season. Their argument extends beyond national interests. They believe every major rugby nation would benefit from clearer international windows, dedicated club competitions, and guaranteed periods of rest. Such a structure could reduce scheduling conflicts while allowing players to recover properly before beginning the next phase of their professional commitments. For Rassie Erasmus, the debate is deeply connected to player welfare. Throughout his coaching journey, he has repeatedly demonstrated that successful teams are built over years rather than weeks. Winning major tournaments requires careful management of workloads, intelligent squad rotation, and an understanding that even the strongest athletes have physical limits. The modern game is faster than ever before. Players cover greater distances, collisions are more intense, and tactical systems demand relentless physical effort from the opening whistle until the final minute. A single professional season may include domestic league matches, international tests, continental tournaments, travel across several countries, promotional commitments, and recovery sessions that barely provide enough time for the body to heal. While supporters witness spectacular tries, powerful tackles, and dramatic victories, they rarely see the physical toll that accumulates behind the scenes. Recovery has become almost as important as training itself. One of the defining characteristics of Rassie Erasmus as a coach has been his willingness to rotate players even when critics question those decisions. Some supporters occasionally wonder why established stars are rested for important fixtures or why experienced veterans are replaced by younger squad members. Yet the coach consistently returns to the same principle: protecting players today increases the team's chances of success tomorrow. Rather than viewing rotation as a sign of uncertainty, he treats it as a strategic investment in the future. That philosophy becomes even more significant when discussing global scheduling. If international competitions were aligned more effectively with domestic seasons, coaches could plan their squads with greater confidence. Players would enjoy structured off-seasons instead of fragmented breaks interrupted by travel and training obligations. Recovery could become an essential part of professional planning rather than an afterthought squeezed into already crowded calendars. The discussion also extends beyond South Africa. Nations such as Argentina face particularly complex challenges because many of their leading players compete for clubs overseas. Coaches often receive only limited time to prepare for major test matches. Unlike teams with large domestic player pools training together regularly, countries relying heavily on internationally based athletes must maximize every available training session. Building combinations, refining tactical systems, and strengthening team chemistry become far more difficult. Under such constraints, Felipe Contepomi, guiding Argentina, has repeatedly demonstrated impressive adaptability despite these obstacles. His teams have produced memorable victories against some of rugby's strongest nations, proving that intelligent coaching can overcome logistical disadvantages. Yet even the most experienced coaching staff would likely welcome additional preparation time if international calendars became better synchronized. More consistent scheduling could improve not only performance levels but also the overall quality of Test rugby. The debate surrounding the Rugby Championship is particularly significant because it represents one of the sport's premier annual competitions. Featuring elite Southern Hemisphere nations, the tournament consistently delivers some of the highest quality rugby in the world. Moving its traditional position within the calendar would represent a historic shift, influencing broadcasters, domestic leagues, travel arrangements, commercial partnerships, and supporter traditions that have developed over decades. Naturally, such proposals generate differing opinions. Some believe preserving rugby's traditional calendar maintains the identity of long-established competitions. Others argue that modern professional rugby has evolved beyond those traditions and now requires bold structural reforms. Both perspectives carry legitimate concerns. Tradition provides continuity and emotional connection for supporters, while innovation ensures the sport remains competitive within an increasingly crowded global sporting landscape. Perhaps the most interesting aspect of Rassie Erasmus' position is that he acknowledges the complexity of implementing such changes. Rather than presenting the idea as a simple solution, he openly recognizes that administrators must address numerous logistical, commercial, and competitive challenges before meaningful reform can occur. International broadcasting contracts, stadium availability, domestic league commitments, climate differences between hemispheres, and player agreements all contribute to an extraordinarily complicated negotiation. This balanced approach has strengthened his credibility within rugby circles. Instead of demanding immediate transformation, he encourages continued discussion while emphasizing the long-term health of the game. His argument is not built around gaining a short-term competitive advantage for the Springboks. Instead, it reflects a broader belief that rugby should evolve in ways that benefit every participating nation, every professional club, and, most importantly, every player who dedicates their career to representing the sport at its highest level. As conversations continue among administrators, coaches, and governing bodies, one fact becomes increasingly difficult to ignore. Rugby is entering a new era where commercial growth, player welfare, competitive balance, and global expansion must coexist. Achieving that balance will require compromise, patience, and vision. Whether a fully synchronized global season eventually becomes reality remains uncertain, but the willingness of influential figures like Rassie Erasmus to engage openly in the debate ensures that the discussion will remain one of the defining issues shaping the future of international rugby.